In the previous episode, we established that the build-up to Nigerian independence was actually hastened by a weaker British that emerged at the end of the Second World War in 1945. Britain was war-ravaged and didn't have the capability to sustain their empire abroad, so the focus returned to internal affairs and the British society wanted to rebuild. But at the same time, they wanted to maintain their interest in their territories. So the first constitutional conference was held in 1946, where Nigerian nationalists discussed the future of Nigeria. Two other constitutional conferences was also held in 1951 and 1954. So this constitutional conference were platforms where the nationalists came on a round table to discuss the future of soon-to-be independent Nigeria. Heading the north, Sir Ahmadu Bello, actually leader of the NPC and the dominant and sole leader of the north, came with a lot of leverage to negotiate on behalf of his region. His sole interest was very conservative. He wanted northern Nigeria to be preserved, and also religion was a major driving force in terms of his political outlook. So looking at it, the divided South between Azikiwe and Awolowo didn't actually have the needed consensus to actually balance policies in terms of who takes what when in the new government structure. The drama that ensued the election of 1951 in the Western region was actually a major cause of Awolowo and Azikiwe's strained relationship. In 1951, Azikiwe won the election to represent Lagos in the Western Assembly, and many NCNC members also won their seats in the Western region of Nigeria, meaning that heading to the Western Assembly, Azikiwe will become the premier of Western Nigeria. But Awolowo didn't accept this reality because an Igbo man coming to head the Western region to him was unacceptable. And before the government was formed, Azikiwe was shocked when a wave of the campaign hit NCNC and major elected officials in the party actually decamped into Action Congress to give Action Congress the majority in the House. So Awolowo became the head of government business, which later became known as the premier of the Western region. So this frustrated Azikiwe and led to a strained relationship between these two political stalwarts in the southern part of Nigeria. Because of frustration, Azikiwe left the West in 1954, heading back to Eastern region where he became the premier subsequently. So this betrayal led to a feud of bad blood. And in the build-up to independence, these two could not just find an agreement to actually build a coalition that will give the South a balance of power with the dominant North that control a land percentage of 75%, which this development, the North actually had a numerical advantage of 29 million at pre-independence. And the South, the two regions in the South combined, the Western and Eastern region actually make up just 22 million in numbers. So it became empirical that for the South to actually present a balance of power challenge, there must be a coalition between the two leaders in the South, or one of the leaders in the South will build a coalition with NPC in the North, which will further strengthen the superiority of NPC. And NPC actually had a united house heading to independence because the power of the premier of the South of Northern Nigeria, which is Sir Ahmadu Bello, was unchallenged, and his lieutenant, which is his assistant, Tafawa Balewa, was the one that he pushed forward to become the prime minister, first prime minister of Nigeria. Despite having the majority of seats, Sir Ahmadu Bello had the opportunity to become the Prime Minister of Nigeria, but he opted to stay back in the North to strengthen his political structures and support Tafawa Balewa from there. So he sent his assistant to become the Prime Minister of Nigeria, which actually in a parliamentary system, power resides with the Prime Minister, while Azikiwe only became a ceremonial head of government without no power. So a coalition between NPC and NNPC was what NPC and NCNC was what ushered Nigeria to independence. Awolowo was sidelined because of a lot of bad blood and ego, and also a lot of policy disagreement with Azikiwe. While Azikiwe had an outlook, his game plan was that all the differences between the region, they will be able to find a common ground, and he would drag Nigeria along to the Pan-African movement alongside Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. So these are the political shenanigans that played out in the build-up to Nigerian independence. There are several other factors, but this is just one of them. The election of 1951 was a major driving force that actually drove a wedge between the relationship of Nnamdi Azikiwe and Obafemi Awolowo.